Hello everyone, my Ignite talk is going to compare and contrast the sustainability initiatives of the University of British Columbia and the University of Connecticut. I chose these two schools because they are at the top of the class in North America for sustainability. Ecologically speaking, sustainability refers to the quality of not being harmful to the environment or depleting natural resources, thus supporting long-term ecological balance. It's based on the simple principle that everything we need for our survival and well-being depends on our natural environment. What is it good for? Sustainability is important to making sure that we have and will continue to have the water, materials, and resources to protect human health and our environment. Therefore, implementing sustainability initiatives are good for absolutely everything and everyone. Why should we target universities? Universities are places of learning and growth. These are the years we adopt and share big ideas the most. They are social hubs of large populations, and they are great places to try out new tactics to promote sustainability before we move on to bigger things. The University of Connecticut has been revered as one of the most environmentally friendly schools in the U.S. and the world. To do this, they teamed up with the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs to implement energy efficiency and low-impact development. They even have a 400 kilowatt fuel cell that took their campus off the energy grid. Their main goal is to achieve carbon neutrality. How? By reducing the GHG emissions, especially from fossil fuels, increasing the efficiency of campus operations, using green technology and practices as much as possible, increasing the proportion of campus energy supplied from renewable resources, and planning responsibly for the future. So this is a graph of the greenhouse gas emission report. 2011 was the year they partnered up with the UN. As one can see, the tons of CO2 produced per year went from 118,000 in 2011 to 113,000 in 2013. There was a 1% increase from 2012 to 2013. Natural gas curtailment is a reduction in the scheduled capacity or energy delivery of an interchange transaction. You know that 1% increase we saw in that last graph? This shows the reason for it. As one can see, weather makes a big difference in energy consumption. This is a great representation of UConn's sub-goal of low-impact development. In 2013, about 400,000 square feet of new buildings were put into place, but the amount of electricity from external sources remained the same. Going back to UConn's main goal of achieving net carbon neutrality by 2050, UConn has reduced its primary CO2 emissions by roughly 4% a year. They have 39 years to meet this goal. If my math is correct, they are ahead of schedule. Now on to UBC. UBC Vancouver was established in 1915. It has a student population of about 50,000, 30 on-campus housing units, 900 acres, and produces 53,000 tons of CO2 per year. It is known to be the most sustainable university in Canada. UBC's sustainability motto is Commit, Integrate, Demonstrate, and Inspire. They are doing this by integrating sustainability-related courses into the school curriculum, increasing accessibility via sustainable modes of transport, and upgrading buildings to conserve water, among many others. The 5 pillars of UBC sustainability are teaching, learning, and research, operations and infrastructure, community, and to tie it all together, the campus as a living lab initiative, and communications and engagement. There is a heavy emphasis on teaching, learning, and research. To have as much opportunity for students to learn about sustainability, there are over 500 courses, over 40 academic programs, and over 50 PhD theses, all related to sustainability. When it comes to operations and infrastructure, UBC is currently in the midst of transforming the campus as a societal testbed for sustainability. UBC, as most Vancouverites know, is basically a small city, so it's the perfect lab rat. Some current projects include designing, building, and operating high-performance green buildings. This is a graphical representation of waste diverted from landfills at UBC from 2010 to 2014. The light blue represents disposed at a landfill and the dark blue diverted. There was an average of 61.5% of garbage diverted from the landfill. The pillar of community is to expand on the connections that UBC has with the students and surrounding population. Through improvements and an increase in the amount of housing available on campus, promoting sustainable transportation options, and using the farms and gardens for conservation and community outreach, such as the Farm to Hospital project. Referring back to the community pillar, this graph represents the modes of transportation used by students, broken down to percentages. Notice how transit use has increased from 15 to 55% from 1997 to 2013. 71% of all trips consist of walking and biking, transiting, and carpooling. The Campus as a Living Lab project is an ongoing project that works with 5 faculties and 18 departments to test out prototypes that will maximize sustainability. It provides teaching, learning, and research opportunities for students, faculty, and staff while making operational requirements. As one of the components that ties the pillars together, the idea behind communication and engagement was to foster a culture of sustainability to really have things stick in our minds. For example, there are competitions between first-year residences, Totem and Vanier, to see which res can be the most sustainable. So this is a graph that depicts the amount of greenhouse gases produced in total and how much each student produces at UBC. There has been a 14% reduction since 2007. The goal is to have a 33% reduction by the end of 2015. As of 2013, each UBC student produces less than 2 tons of carbon dioxide per year. To compare and contrast, UConn has a campus about 4 times the size of UBC Vancouver, but with a much smaller student body. Both have incorporated student community engagement and in efficient, low-impact buildings, which equates to the success of a program. Funding is important. UConn had more high-tech gear and faster results. And thank you for listening to my Ignite talk.